Special good morning to the listeners, the viewers of Classic Radio and GBN TV. Welcome. It's Friday. It's the 8th day of May 2026. It's to the point. I'm your host, GT. I was scheduled to have someone, of course, in studio this morning, and for some reason or the other, they haven't arrived as yet. So which leads us, of course, after a slight delay to moving to an open line edition this morning. 435-2041, 435-2041. It's Friday. For a vast majority of us will be our final work day for this particular work week. Some of us have the entire weekend off, and there's those of us who will do that entire 7 days per week sometimes. All right, so let's get into it, folks. 435-2041, both the WhatsApp and the direct lines available for you this morning. Let's have that conversation. I know there are various issues, of course, that you may want to bring to the fore this morning, and the opportunity has been granted to you. If you hear my voice sounds a little off this morning, yeah, I think I'm coming down with something of the sort, so I'm not sure. But let's get to the phone line. We do have our first caller. Caller Live, good morning, welcome. How are you this morning?
Yeah, man, cool, DT, and I see that you okay in spite of you might be coming on with a cold. It's always a pleasure to have you around.
I'm hoping not. I'm hoping that it's not a cold.
No, you'll be okay. I think you're strong enough.
All right, man.
And
thank you. Let's hear from you.
I'm sure people are praying for you.
I appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
Yeah. So I was trying to figure out among the myriad issues that needs to be attended to what. Mm-hmm. Of course, we have this thing with the virus, the whatever virus that on the cruise ship. Somebody pointed out to me that when they had the COVID, it started up. Some of the spread started with the cruise ship, remember? And the cruise ship was
with visitors coming to Ireland. Was it from the cruise ship or was it via folks who came in via the airport? Okay, sometimes I'm hearing a conversation a lot where it refers to more of the cruise ship nature. That's one of the conversations I'm hearing a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, so that, but the show, it goes to show is that what we think, we take things for granted and we think that we're so immune. It's unfortunate that, during the COVID, how they approach the COVID, saying that they cause more people following the backward Americans and some Europeans about to be anti-vax. Even those of us who took principal position of saying, our position at the time, or my position was that 6 months' time was not enough to really decide on whether people should, be vaccinated. And that was based on some advice from people in the medical field who didn't feel comfortable. But we were all lumped in the same bunch. I've never been against vaccination. I was against that vaccination, the COVID, because of the timing. And as they said, even with the new thing, they say, let us not rush to, because you have to have so much boosters, and people were still dying. In fact, I remember, GT, that one of your hosts on this program prevented me from using the word ivermectin. When it was being proven that in India, in Kerala, and so on, that practitioners were using ivermectin, including in St. Lucia, a woman with one of the doctors was suspended. Because the folks, it's just like, if you say the word Palestine right now, it's like a crime. Something is wrong, and this was my difficulty, is forcing things on people. We still haven't have a very solution. You see, the natural immunity develop and so on.
All right.
So, but it's unfortunate that it became an anti-vaccine thing. There's some vaccine now is very needed, especially for children.
Let me ask you this, caller. I'm not trying to divert your whole conversation this morning, but do you think we need more conversation or relative from the authorities and so forth in terms of getting citizens to be a little bit more aware in terms of what's happening? Because a lot of the conversation we are hearing is what is picked up from international sources, but we're not hearing nothing much from the local. Not to create any loom and doom thing that's going to happen, but should we hear more conversation from the authorities in terms of creating awareness that this thing could probably, although the risk is pretty low for now, but what do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. But you see, when you have 3 for 10 over there, 3 for 10, the government system, the public service and so on have been decimated. I mean, have not been something, especially after invasion, have not been something that one could be so proud of. And on top of that, you had this thing where the problem with the pension, that was, people, as they became, when they retire and so on, they have issue in getting the pension. And then also with the IMF stuff, where for every 10 people leave the system, you only take 3, and then some of the people that was you might have taken wasn't quite, ready or qualified. So we had a sit. So in a way, it's easy to point finger. But I do agree that we need to have a system that people will be more engaged. The other thing about it, even we have conversation like this one, but people are now able to have dialogue. We have, you give a 2 minute, a minute, or half a minute. We need more conversation that people understand. And the problem is that we don't ask the right question. And that's the problem. We try for the right answer. We're trying to ask the right question. If we ask the right question, a lot of the solution could be found. Right. So, yes, you're sure right. I mean, we need more conversation. But I don't always believe that is blaming, pointing finger in one direction, because all of us. In fact, there was a time in Grenada, in spite of the political and social system, things got done because we had organizations. We hardly have any organization. Even my organization is struggling. People, because we have made it individuals, selfish, me, I, and my. The thing about it is that the only way we will survive, Martin Luther King said that, and others, all the other great people, even Jesus said it, we could only go forward through each other. We have to love one another, just as our love, even higher than ourselves, as the scripture says. We have to, the social connection, there's no, even a relationship not working, too much divorce. I mean, something is wrong because we are focusing on the external things, material, car, van, whatever, land, whatever. We need to really step back and ask ourselves the question, because we're leaving our children. And GT, you might have heard me over there saying, Lavantil is coming, Lavantil and Mova, and maybe Kingston is coming up with a fence. If we don't really take stock and ensure that we create a sort of balance, you have a whole set of young people who have no sense of purpose. Okay. Just looking for the next smoke, the next drink, the next whatever, next fix. We need to get people, inspire people. I always say, and I said it one time with me and Miss Aria St. Louis on Walter Isaac's program. People don't need so much information anymore. What they need is inspiration.
Thank you.
And some people are offering leadership which is redundant. If that thing doesn't work, we need inspiration. We need to inspire each other, and this is what I try to do. I know I've taken time, maybe before the program comes, I may have a time to come back. So let me give somebody else a chance.
All right, man. Appreciate that. Have a great Friday so far, man. Bye. Thank you. Thanks a lot. 445-2041, 445. It's an open line this morning. We're already moving down to approximately 12 minutes after the 9 o'clock hour. Here it's to the point this morning, and it's an open line. We do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome. How are you doing?
Do you think how was the Friday weekend trade? You good?
I'm doing all right. I feel a little bit itch in the throat, but I hope it's nothing that's trying to attack me.
You have to goggle it with some warm water. Anyway, well, I really thought that this guy would not have ended, on and on. But in any case, I can't dictate to you. But I want to compliment GBN on this grill, the grill business. The
King of the Grill.
Yeah. What? It's a fantastic idea. Even with the thing in Pearls, it was a resounding success. I have to compliment GBN for that. And not only that, here now there are going to be more categories, embassies, school children. You have to give credit to GBN. I mean, that station, I'm really proud of all its workers and its management. So I look forward to going to the King of the Grill and getting various different barbecue. But finally, because I wouldn't stay long, I want to salute all mothers, because I think this weekend is Mother's Day. Salute all mothers, adopted mothers. You have men that play the role of mothers and fathers. Everybody, you have single parents, and we have to salute our women, because woman is the vehicle by which we come into the world. And the women and the mothers are often the pillar of society. We can't do it without these women, and we can't do it without these mothers. So I want to place on my record a tribute and salute all the mothers of this nation, all the godmothers, because in North JT we have grandmothers too. We have fathers, a lot of people who play the role of looking after children. And on that special day, my mother died. I want you all to treat your mother with dignity, respect, but every day should be Mother's Day. You agree, JT?
Certainly, I do agree with you about 100%.
Every day should be Mother's Day. So
right.
I'm encouraging people to begin with myself, even though my mother died, to love your mother, appreciate her, and on this special day, I salute all the women of the world and all the women, all the mothers. Continue to nurture the children, to nurture the nation's children, and bring them up to be a good citizen. Thank you, JT, and I'm looking forward.
Thank you. Thank you also. Have a great day yourself. 435-2041, 435-2041. We have an open line this morning on today's edition of To The Point. Let me say good morning, to all of the drivers on our nation's roads. Can't stop, mentioning the drivers, because sometimes we see what happens on our nation's road with the vast amount of vehicles on our roads today. And certainly we do hope that you drive along with that due care and attention as always. The lines are open, folks. 435-2041. We have another caller. Let's say good morning to this caller. Caller, your life. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, GT.
Good morning, sir.
One big problem in the world is not that sometimes I hear things and it makes me laugh, because when you look at society, you realize even if some society are placing themselves as materialized and they made it, and they have all big sporting facilities, the education standard is high and stuff like that. What you think happens is that once you have the moral fabric of a country broken, our society broken, then social decadence will take place. And that is one of the problems. And once we don't take that time off to educate people, because if you look at it from a historical point of view, you're going to notice that every time a nation or a people go against God principles, we mess up. But it's unfortunate within our society that when you talk about God, it seems to be a taboo. It seems as if folks are angry or folks get mad. We pray to God for things, but at the same time, we are mad when people talk about God, or we are mad when people talk about a standard in how we should keep ourselves, or how we should govern ourselves, or how we should behave. You understand? Because just driving on the buses, you will hear profane music for the school children. Only that. You will see parents now cussing 4-letter words in front of the children in this Grenada right here. And it seems to come like a norm, like nobody bothers. It amazes me. And hear what now? So the problem is not people talk too much or they're talking too little. The problem is we want to hear what we want to hear. Because history and scientific and medical evidence will show that what we hear and see shapes our destiny. And every time we move away from principles and we move away from the order that's been set, we mess it up and we mash it up, right? And it's sad that it's there. And when you talk about it, folks tend to, this one talk too much and that one talk too much.
Okay.
I've heard that all my life, GT. And you know what happened is that I discovered that it's not the talking too much. Because let me tell you, there's something called the polarity. You see, the air has power. The air has power. Because what you say manifests itself. Even in the beginning, God spoke words and they come into being. I remember a youth always used to say, "You're going to kill." And I was the one, not just me, but many others used to always say, "Boss, do not speak these words. They're going to manifest itself." And it just happened that same thing happened.
All right.
You go to jail, you look for that person, and you see it for yourself. So I'm saying that the problem is not talking. The problem is people hearing what they want to hear.
All right,
Let us focus on principles from you as a father for yourself. You grew up, your mom was a stalwart in our society. You grew up with principle. Your father was a stalwart, and he set that principle, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So what I'm saying is we try to avoid saying certain things because certain people have confrontation with us. So sometimes we're scared to even talk. So let us keep on talking and let us be in the good example, and let's save Grenada, because what I see happening now is frightening. GT, have
Thank you, man. Have a great morning. Appreciate your call. We do have another caller via WhatsApp. WhatsApp caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Hello. Good morning, Mr. GT. How are you?
Doing great, man. How are you this morning?
I'm fine. Thank you. Thank God. And I'm going to comment on COVID and the hantavirus. I think it's very important that we do not spread panic. For people who are familiar with the scientific process, it's tends to be evidence-based, and the level of confidence and stuff like that. Before a drug is on the market, it goes through, some of them go through animal trial, clinical trials, etc., post-marketing surveillance, and so on. And then, like in the United States, the FDA may finally give the go-ahead to use the medication, the drug, for anyone who has that condition. Now, the thing is, there's such a thing as emergency situation. And just as in life, there are certain things we do, but if we get ourselves stuck in a situation, we improvise. And I think it's a risk-benefit ratio. So in the days of COVID, when the pandemic, I should say, because COVID is still around, you had a situation where people were dying left, right, and center. You saw all the drama on TV, on the internet, and so on. So sometimes people have to do the best they can, improvise, so to speak, and they may jump one part of the process to speed up the whole result, and that's so things have to be contextualized. And just as if we're in a situation where we in a, you go to the hospital, modern hospital, and there's certain things, you use sterile things, you use certain medication, you go to if you're out on the battlefield and you don't have access to sterile stuff and certain things, you improvise with what you have. You acknowledge. Empiric in that improvisation is an acknowledgement, whether said or not said, that you're improvising and you'll prefer to go through XYZ step, but you have to jump straight to this other step or take a detour because of the specific situation. And we have to say kudos to the men and women of science who risk their lives. They are not there operating as some situation where people tell you buy this latest sneaker and so on and make a whole bunch of money out of it and doing things. They're doing things that they're actually risking their lives to come up, being exposed to the agents, the disease, etc., the virus, the bacteria, to come up with solutions and spend long hours. And sometimes those things are not recognized. So we have to be very careful. And for people who have a basis in science, who have a strong science, practical, clinical background, they will tend to understand the process. And so the other thing about hantavirus, it's been around for quite a while. And we are knowing of that now. In the past, when things happen, we may not be knowledgeable about. We're not hear the news because we did not have the internet and all that stuff. Now news is like 24 hours around the clock. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to go read a textbook. You don't have to be a medical provider. Everyone can get the information. And government has a role. Part of the role in government, yes, to inform people, but at the same time, they have to be very cognizant of not spreading panic. And and it's a whole thing. It's something, while there are a lot of intelligent people out there, the field of science and medicine, this is empirically knowledge-based and evidence-based, the way you do things. Just as if you have a patient who is dying and they end up with some other things, you don't give them bad news in the middle of that. Or you have somebody who's about to take an exam, while they're starting the exam, you don't go and tell them, oh, their mom died or something like that, because you know the effect it's going to have on them. It's not keeping things away from them, but people who are qualified to lead in certain things have to bite the bullet or take the bull by the horn, so to speak, and make decision. And that's part of the process. It's not keeping things away from people or trying to be misguiding. It's the scientific, it's the leadership milieu that they're working in, and they have to make tough decisions. So kudos to them, and I think we have to just put a pause on the panic button. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you. Appreciate your contribution also, and of course your thoughts on that. Let's take another caller. Caller, good morning, you're live. Caller, you're live. Guess that caller is not ready for us. Folks, we due for a break. Let's take that break. When we come back, we continue with the conversation. Stay with us here on To The Point. We'll be right back after the short break. Don't touch it down.
From here, the melody, you know it's me, Martin, and dancing to the fullest. And listen, Grenada, you don't have to ask me if I love you, I do. Now listen up, it's all about Sunshine Promotions presents its 25th anniversary on May the 9th, 2026. Yours truly, Christopher Martin, will be here live and direct at the National Stadium, so make sure you forward out. It's gonna be sweet sugar reggae coming at you all night, you understand? I can't wait to see you. Beautiful ladies, the first 2,000 of you to reach the venue will stand a chance to win out of $20,000 in cash prizes, you understand? So make sure you follow out early. I can't wait to see you. See you there.
At 5 p.m. on August 5th, 1944, the schooner Island Queen sailed out of the St. George's Harbor. On board were some of Grenada's brightest and best sons and daughters. What happened afterwards remains a mystery.
Where Island Queen gone?
Heritage Theatre Company presents Lucy's Straw Hat, a full-length drama written and directed by Chris DeRiggs, a moving story about a family caught up in the drama of this great mystery. Meet Mammy Sylvie, a woman with a secret too heavy to keep but too painful to reveal.
Asking for forgiveness for not telling you the truth.
Pa John, the war veteran.
Sometimes I sit here feeling so helpless, so crushed.
Hyacinth, always ready to do mischief.
You don't see the woman Uncle Norris married. She face ugly enough to turn milk.
Lucy, beautiful and headstrong.
I had a dream, Mommy, but Hyacinth was there, holding my hand.
Lucy's Straw Hat at Grenada Trade Center on Saturday 13th and Sunday 14th June, and at Deluxe Cinema on Saturday 20th and Sunday 21st June. All shows 7 p.m. Advance tickets $60, $75 at the door. Come join us.
Where Island Queen gone?
Let me say welcome back. Let me say welcome back once again to our listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's To The Point, Classic Radio, GBN TV, Friday, the 8th day of May, 2026. We have an open line segment this morning. Let's go back to the phone line. We do have a caller via the WhatsApp. WhatsApp caller, you're live. Good morning and welcome.
Morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm just calling to say my sympathy to the chief editor of Now Grenada. On our passing, now Linda Straker. Now, Linda Straker was an important journalist in Grenada, and I have personal reason to say that. Now, Grenada is not a left-wing country, but the media in Grenada, anybody with common sense could see that the media in Grenada is hijacked by the left. Now, a lot of people know me. I won't say my name. I write almost all newspaper in Grenada already. From the days of Leslie Pierre, I write Voice, New Today, or whatever was the name, and all the newspapers, even the one called Informer. Now, I wrote a lot of articles for Now Grenada. And people from the revolution used to tell Now Grenada, don't print me. But up to today, I can see some of my writing on Now Grenada. Linda Straker never take the left advice to ban me from writing. And this is the thing in Grenada where we need more people like Linda Straker to create a balance in the media. So Now Grenada is a good newspaper. I have lots of articles on Now Grenada still, because I have a website called hudsonjudge.com. Now, I would like to see a balance in the media and Now Grenada continue on its course and not hijacked by the left. My sympathy to Linda Straker and her family and her working colleague in the media. Anyway, this is me, Hudson George. I go on.
Thank you. Appreciate your call, sir. We do have another caller via the direct line. Let's go over. Say good morning. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Hi, good morning, DG.
Good morning to you.
I heard you mention that you might be coming down with something. If it's a cold, get some multi-symptoms to counteract the effect.
All right, thank you.
All right. I'd just like to say that I think Grenada is becoming a bit out of control where the crime wave is concerned. In that, Grenada used to be a God-fearing nation, but I think a lot of people are forgetting about God these days. We need to curb that. We don't need the violence. We do not need the violence. We're too small for that. We need to contain it and get it under control. That's my contribution. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and the mothers at heart. You have a blessed one.
You too have a good one. If you're a mom, happy advance to you also. Okay. All right. 445-2041, 445. The lines are now open, both the WhatsApp and the direct line. They are both open and, of course, ready to accept your calls. We do have another caller. Caller live. Good morning. Welcome. And how are you this morning?
I'm doing great, GT. What about you?
Doing good. Besides the awful sound you're hearing of my voice, but I'm doing good.
Okay, I trust it gets better. GT, as you live, you learn. I didn't know Grenada have left leaning and right leaning. Maybe I'm a little bit ignorant.
Sometimes there's never a dull moment, huh?
Yeah, I really didn't, and I'm not trying to be funny or sarcastic or anything. I didn't know, right? What I really want to say is sort of to piggyback off what the first caller said. Something he said that it has to do with the virus or that whatever on that ship, right? I heard that Jamaica said they were being careful and stuff like that. And when you look at the Caribbean, we tend to value dollar over health and over people. So it makes me wonder if we are going to take the necessary precautions, right? And I think that we need to be not making people scared, but beginning to educate people more concerning those things, since we depend on tourism, right? Anything that's happening tourism-wise, we should be educating our people on those things, since this is something that could spread quickly. There are countries who are not allowing the ship to come in, right? So I think we should be a little bit more proactive with that is concerned. The next thing I want to say is that with the Polaris thing that is coming on, which is good, I wonder if we are strengthening our human resource, nurses, doctors, administrators, if we are getting those things together before we move into the full-fledged of this thing, or are we waiting for the horse to be out of the stable before we actually get our act together. We should be in preparation, not just for the building, if you get me, but our people should be trained, our people should be on it whilst we are waiting for the project to come on. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I find that
I think I sort of get your drift in it. We should have that holistic view of everything now before we get
now we should be seeing the effects now from the training in our doctors or nurses or emergency, everything. We should be seeing it and feeling it. Right? That's all I'm trying to see. Thank you, GT.
Thank you. Appreciate your call. 435-2041, 435-2041. The lines are opened. So, of course, you can call in, express your views and concern in relation to issues that is of concern to you. You could certainly have the option of bringing it to the fore. It's Friday, the 8th of May. We do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, GT. How are you?
Doing all right, sir. Doing all right. How are you this morning?
I'm fine, man. I'm calling from Ampanasa, sir.
Yeah.
Right up in the coconut. Since last week Tuesday, we got water from the main, and we have none up to this day.
But was there any release from NAWASA in relation to reasons why you're not having your area?
Well, nobody's saying nothing.
All right.
And because apparently, like when if they turn on the water, between the people down in the bottom full up. And it's a problem for it to come right up in the top since last week Tuesday. We haven't been getting water.
All right. But I'm assuming you are, of course, taking alternative means in terms of getting yourself the adequate amount that you need, though.
Well, the only thing is to take your vehicle and go and job water once you get it anyway. Because you see the problem, GT in Grenada, in the rain season, all the water going down in the sea. And when time dry season, it's a problem. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you so much. 435-2041, 435-2041. The lines are open, so we can certainly hear your views and concerns in relation to issues that is of concern to you this morning, and you certainly like to bring to the fore. You also have the option, if you prefer, of course, to send a message via the WhatsApp. You can do that also. I will certainly take the time out and read it. I think I got it up and running in this segment now. Was able to view the messages before, but I think I can view them now. But we do have a caller. Caller live. Good morning. Welcome. And how are you this morning?
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
I'm trying to report that it's a situation that's going on with all governments. They're not fixing up government house. For example, the Prime Minister is staying in a house over there where he's spending the money. The Governor General is staying in a house where they're spending our tax money, and then they're taxing me hard. Why they're not fixing up government house and stay there? That's the place that designated for people who hold that office. If you don't want to stay there, you shouldn't try to get the office to stay somewhere else. That's just my concern. Thank you.
Appreciate your contribution, sir. 435-2041. Let's go back to the WhatsApp. WhatsApp caller live. Good morning. Welcome.
Jay, good morning, brother. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right.
Jay, I'll go back to that same point just a little bit, because I think that you touch a spot on my good friend who claimed that he's friends of the earth. I think I'm a better friend of the earth than him. But just look at it, Jay. We have 3 parks in the same area, right? Adjacent to each other. You can jump in one and jump on the next one. 3 parks. Poorly lit at night. So you can go there and get robbed. You can go there and get killed because it's not properly lit. Not properly organized in the first place. So families cannot go there. If a child cannot walk in a park in the night, it's not properly safe, You have to bring a park to the level where a child could walk in the night and be safe and clean. So let's say we have Cameron Park. Yeah? Then we have Heroes Park. And then we have Monroe Park. So anybody with the right thing in mind, look at these 3 parks there. What is happening there? 3 space that is just there, costing the state money every month. Now, in the real life, if you want to use, you can have the 2, just leave the 2 alone, but use 1. Put up a nice sign in front of the park, Heroes Park, well lit nice. So you can put anybody face you want on it, or put anybody name you want on it, on the sign, Heroes Park. And in that park, you section it out. And you rent the space in them, or you build proper. I'm talking about a shanty town thing. I'm talking about proper thing with proper bars and restaurants where our tourists, our locals can go and have a nightlife and properly lit. Put some nice bright lights, certain places on Granite Beach. Not all spots, because your hotels there, but place where the public would go and recreate at nights. Bright light on Granite Beach. Those lights anybody see they put in the past years there and lit it up. There's certain type of lights you could put on Granite Beach as big as that and keep Granite Beach as bright as day. Certain times so people can go on the beach at night, and also put nets in the water so people can bathe at night without the sharks and them biting them and going with them. So you bring the place in a way that tourists could flex, a day at night, locals could flex in day at night, and the place is nice. You don't have 3 parks just day, go in bush, and then now and then you have something there, and then you go back bush again, and then now and then you have something and then bush again, and then now and then you have something in one wood, now and then it's just what you call when somebody is dying, or when something is dying, just day. So I think we need to focus on bring it alive. Bring one of them alive. Let's have 3 parks in the same place. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know how people can see that. It does not make any sense to have 3 parks in the same area. My second point is that, Jay, if you look at the raid to get Maduro in Venezuela, there is a soldier that went on the raid, but he bet, in some bet in the ring, that the day and the time that they're going to get Maduro. And I think he win a certain amount of money. Remember, he better. He's a soldier who went on the raid. He could have lost his life on the raid, but he bet. I think, well, they charge him. I don't think they charge him, right? If he was in court sometime, I think last week or when. Now here in Grenada here, we buy land to say we're building a new hospital. Yeah? You'll be hearing about government officials buy land close to the land. Well, I don't know what kind of thing is that. You buy land close to the land. And nothing is happening. So when I think about Grenada, for Grenada to go forward, when you have all this kind of perpetual thing taking place, you can't go forward. Because it's too much underhand thing taking place. A country like that can't go forward. America charge him, man. He was going to risk his life here. And they charge him still. You Grenada here, man, doing what he want. So how can we go forward? How can we move from one point to the next? And then you go hear somebody say, NMP should do it too. Well, there are laws in place. If NMP did it, go and arrest them all now. You understand? The point I'm making is that we have to stand for something. Have a nice day, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate your contribution this morning. Folks, we drew for a break. Let's take that break. When we come back, we continue with the program. Stay with us. Don't touch it down.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing Fire up the coals, bring the flavor. It's time to crown the King of the Grill. Maggie King of the Grill 2026 is calling you. Think you got the creativity, the skills, and the fire to rule the grill? This is the ultimate showdown for chefs, backyard masters, and the food lovers alike. Step up, show your talent, and claim your spot among the best. With over $5,000 in cash and prizes to be won, the stakes has never been hotter. Happening Saturday, May the 30th. Register now. Call or WhatsApp 407-8458. But hurry, registration close April the 30th. Don't wait. Bring your fire, bring your flavor, and bring your A-game. Maggie, King of the Grill 2026, where champions are made on the grill.
Life doesn't stand still. It moves. It grows. It asks you to believe in what's next. Your first car. Owning your home. The business you build. The future you choose to invest in. Life moves in steps. When you're ready to take the next one, we're here to help you move forward with banking solutions designed for life. From vehicle financing and mortgages to education savings, credit solutions, and support for your growing business. Republic Bank, ready for life, every step.
Boom! From here, the melody, you know it's me, Martin and Dawson to the fullest. And listen, Grenada, you don't have to ask me if I love you, I do. Now listen up, it's all about Sunshine Promotions presents its 25th anniversary on May the 9th, 2026. Yours truly, Christopher Martin, will be here live and direct at the National Stadium, so make sure you forward out. It's gonna be sweet sugar reggae coming at you all night, you understand? I can't wait to see you. Beautiful ladies, the first 2,000 of you to reach the venue will stand a chance to win out of $20,000 in cash prizes, you understand? So make sure you forward out early. I can't wait to see you. See you there.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, once again. It's moving up to exactly 14 minutes before the top 10. This segment, of course, will get us to wrap today's show but when we get to the top 10. The lines are open once again, 435-2041, 435-2041. For you listeners and viewers out there, if you want to make a contribution this morning, feel free to do so. We go back to the phone line. Caller live, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, brother. Good morning, and good morning, Grenada.
Good morning to you, sir.
I want to I'm making a point. There are two professions that we need, and I don't find enough attention is being paid to them. They are farming and fishing. I don't know how people look at it, but we need food unless we're dead. The only time you don't need food is when you're dead. And with the situation in the world today, I think we need to pay particular attention to farming and fishing. Not just the regular thing that's going on there. We have to lift our standards. In 1975, a program was started at the Grenada Technical Center, which ended up as the Maribor Farm School. There were 4 gentlemen who gave their attention, the knowledge, just by asking them, and they started the program there, and end up in Maribor Farm School. And I'm not hearing anything about Maribor Farm School at this point in time. I think we need to focus on the crops that we have in Grenada. Do the science. We have IFE there. They do chemistry. Let them analyze the food that we have so we know what kind of vitamins and minerals and trace elements we have in these foods. So Grenadians are able to accept the food that we produce in this country. We listen, we hear fertilizer, the artificial fertilizer would be scarce, it would be more expensive. And therefore, the food in the market will be more expensive for us. So I'm just asking us as Grenadians, let us look at our backyard. Let us look at the areas where we can farm. And I'm asking the members of the Ministry of Agriculture. I remember the days when the extension officers wore either green or khaki and they went out in the field, not white long sleeve shirt. White long sleeve shirt is staying in the office. Get the farmers together. Educate them. Let them know how yams grow, how tanya, dashing. Let them understand, because food is absolutely necessary for life. And we're not paying attention to that. We buy rice and other things that are grown under conditions that we have no idea how they grow. And 2, my second thing is this. Our government officials and ministry officials and other top officials in the ministries and departments, what my personal observation over the years, because I spent 41 years in the business government, is that senior officers, when an idea comes from a junior officer, if he's not a friend of the manager or they do not take in the ideas and deal with them. 5 years later, a friend of theirs tell them, and they say yes, and they work with it. So I'm asking us as a people to be more perceptive and receive ideas, analyze them, discuss them, and use the good ideas to promote this country, because this is, in my opinion, the best country in the world. And a lot of the killing and the liming and the begging that I'm noticing around now is because we have not motivated our people to work at the level at which they are, to the best of their ability at that level. So government officials and senior officials, stop this nonsense. I know it personally. Personally, I've experienced it. They try to hold down certain people because they come from some family. I tell you, one former student, a classmate of mine, told a principal, you see, I know why you're not sending me for the exam, because my father don't have a rum shop. And he was the brightest student in the class. But he didn't do the scholarship exam because his father didn't have a rum shop. But the students who did the exam, two of them had a rum shop. So please, Grenadians, appreciate what we have, work with what we have, and help those who show the desire to move forward. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, caller. Appreciate your contribution this morning. Thanks a whole lot. We do have another caller. WhatsApp, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, sorry, I don't want to abuse it. 1 minute.
Yes,
I want the lady to know that if she do political science, she will know there is left and right in politics, and it's not colors. They don't teach you political colors in politics. So tell her, check me out on HudsonGeorge.blog as a website.
All right, sir.
She know political colors. Not every country a political right, left, and center. Check me out on HudsonGeorge.blog. All right, my brother, have a good weekend.
You too. Have a great day. What's left of it, man, and all the best for the weekend to come. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, live. Good morning.
Yeah, GT, you know, it's said where ignorance is bliss. It is folly to be wise. That was Shakespeare. And also, the African says, not to know is bad, but not to want to know is worse. When I mentioned about and you probably will remember, I talk about this caller who talk about the packs. My thing was not about what necessarily the full content of what he said. And I'm not reacting. I just want people to understand. When people talking about space is an ideology. It's an European concept where all it sees is whether it's mineral to be mined, human being to be enslaved, or something like that. It doesn't see life. It doesn't see sanctity. Why it is that when certain projects are being happen and people discover that it was a burial ground, people make an effort to ensure that it is maintained, because even in death, people are still living in terms of depending where you're coming from in consciousness. So I just wanted to make that point, so that space, when people talk about space, it means you can create anything else once you want to do a certain particular project. This is from Adam Smith and others. Now, the other thing, one of your callers talk about science. Yes, science. Yes, science. Science is not neutral. It is not also just as technology. It is managed or utilized by people who have certain worldview or intention. For instance, since before the advent of the environmental movement in the 70s, late 60s, 70s, companies like Shell and so on knew, based on study that was done, that the planet was in danger. Even as late as the late 80s and early 90s, when it became very apparently, those companies and others get scientists and others to say that we're not sure yet, we need to do more stuff. Scientists are paid. In fact, one time it was said that most scientists are being paid by either the death industry or the criminal industry, whether it's nuclear or something like that in the 70s. So it depends on who is managing the science. And in the case of the COVID thing, there were people who have been in the thing like Dr. Velva Bolt. She did something, GBN did have a clip on her, in which she said that it was the timing that was done, the rush was not was not safe. That's what we were saying. It's not that there's certain thing, and then she asked certain questions. If you get sick 2 years later or die, who will compensate you? These are questions that were not answered, and people are still dying as a result of some of the mistakes that was made during the COVID period. So it's not that one is against science. Science should be embraced, but it has to be managed. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Appreciate your call as always. Of course, we go have another caller, but before I take that caller, someone is asking a question or making a statement, I should say. I would like to see a revamping of all government departments. Too much inconsistency in the service to the public. Needs to be better, of course, especially, of course, in the registry and traffic departments. I guess they're just making that particular contribution there. We do have another caller. Caller via WhatsApp, you're live. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning to you, JT.
Good morning to you.
Your followers. I want to start with two positive things. I must say that in spite of what's happening around, Grenada is still a beautiful place and a great place. It's one of the few places where someone will honk you or call out to you on the side of the road, even notice that you have a tire that's losing air, and you need to stop and inflate. And that happened to me one day in the week. Guy was walking with his daughter, and he said, he knocked on my window. He said, look, you got a tire there. You need to put some air into it. I had to come first in my car, but I left in a rush and I didn't check anything. Another positive thing happened to me yesterday morning. You know, sometimes you have your phone in your pocket and you get a pocket call. And when I looked aside, it was saying emergency. I called 911. And I quickly picked the phone up and tried to, disable the call. It rang once, and 911 responded. You know the kind of assurance that gives to you? At the first ring, someone said, emergency, how can I help? And that was a very reassuring thing. So there are good things happening in our country, and we should not take these things for granted. Now, it's good to get a lot of advice, and the more we hear, the more we learn, and some people have been overseas and they have experienced a lot of things. But too many times I'm hearing people trying to compare Grenada with other countries. Last week I heard someone who was an aspiring politician trying to compare the healthcare in Grenada with what is happening in Canada. I mean, this is a first world country, and it's almost like it's one like almost as a social state. I mean, how is the healthcare paid for there? Do you know how much these people pay in taxes? The tax rate in these countries. Do you know how the healthcare is contributed for? Do we want to replicate that in Grenada? Do we have the resources? So we're trying to compare apples with oranges. You were in Canada and this was happening. People were riding on buses free and all this. And folks are saying, oh, we should have that here. Who paid for these things? Who will pay for them today? Yesterday someone spoke about the local government. And we had local government before. But are they aware that it's going to be another layer of government that we have to pay for? We have come somewhere in recent times where the parliamentarians are now receiving a significant amount more than they got before, and even transportation, so that they can help more in what's happening in the community. But if you want to put in every parish or whatever it is, a local system, I can understand. Who is going to pay for these things? The things that they're going to do locally, are you going to raise the funds locally? Do we have our communities large enough to have the resources to raise funds locally to do things? Are people going to serve on those boards for free? So while they're giving good ideas, we have to understand that all of those ideas may not be practical and they may not be workable here. So let's be a bit patient. Let's be a bit more realistic. And let us try to help where we can. Give advice, yes, but you have to understand that some of them just ain't gonna work here, not here and not now. But have a wonderful weekend. I wish all the mothers a wonderful Mother's Day, although every day should be Mother's Day. And have a good one.
You too, sir. Thank you. Have a great day. What's left of it also. We have another caller, which will be the caller that will wrap today's edition of To The Point. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Telesford, good morning. Greetings, sir. What a coincidence. It's pretty late now. I think it's about 2 minutes late. But I was, I lay down here waiting for you and so on 9 o'clock and I drop asleep, my brother. But let me take the opportunity, Mr. Telesford. My observation this morning is a very peculiar one. I just thought I'd make it for what it's worth. I've been listening to the radio from time to time, an advertisement, seemingly with some foreigners by the accent and some local people. Read the name of our country. We know that certain people say Granada because of Granada, in a Spanish word, originally, Latin, and places around the world. And to avoid getting confused, I appreciate that we hear in the world that ours is not Granada, but in fact, Grenada. I want you to listen. Yes. No, I'm hearing it has moved from Granada to Grenada. Now, if you're saying Grenada, you're telling me that the word is spelled Grenaya. This I never saw, even when I was able to. But you know what forces me, Grenadians, and the people, and people get paid for this. And I came around here and doing thing. What bluff? From Grenada. Now, what is that? Grenada. Of course, in English language, around over here, vowel different songs. 24 songs. The E sometimes song put different to the A, and even the songs from the A to the word Alice song A. Strange it is the language, but it is recorded in the phonetic symbols of the language. So remember, it is neither Granada nor Grenada, it is Grenada. Just that. Grenada. I thought I'd make the observation so we stop mamagaing the people and wasting the people's money in vain and frivolous hogwash. For what it's worth, Mr. Telesford, sir, do have a nice weekend, will you?
You too, sir. All the best for the rest of the day and the weekend to come. Hey, folks, that's what we're going to take a wrap for today's edition of To The Point. I want to thank everyone who contributed for the entire week. Thank you so much. Have a pleasant day, what's left of it. A great weekend to come. To all the mothers, I wish you a happy advanced Mother's Day greeting. Certainly hope you will have an enjoyable day on the day. I hope that your sons and daughters will, of course, make you feel happy. Until we have another edition that will be next week, up to the point, that's why I say goodbye for today. Goodbye, folks. Have a good one. Don't.